with them. Therefore, the younger generation to them is alien. They do not get to understand what they are saying. Therefore, you see the emotional problem is the worst. Now, what are those messages? Briefly, brothers and sisters, it is hard and I need to go very fast. Number one, this ayah, when it says, وَمَن نُعَمِّرْهُ نَنَكِّسْهُ فِي الْخَلْقِ, it's telling everybody that it's not necessarily a long life is a good life. A life that you will lose your senses. You will lose your mental ability. You will lose your physical ability. This is not a good life. This is if you are paralyzed, as you are a prisoner of a breathing. That's not a good one. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam says in his dua, he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, says, Allahumma ij'al nafsi awwala karimatin tantazi'uha min kara'im. Make my soul the first blessing that you take back. Allah has given us millions of blessings. One of them is our souls. So here Ali ibn Abi Talib is saying that instead of you come and take my ears, my eyes, my vision, my hearing, my physical ability, I want you to do one thing. Take my soul. When I die, I want to die dignified. I want to die while I am a respectable person. You see, brothers and sisters, even in this case, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala causes aging, it is a blessing not only for us, for our loved ones. If the father or the mother who's completely fit, physically fit and healthy, all of a sudden collapses and dies, what is the effect will be on the children? Will be great. So as they go through this process of aging, they become aged, they start to have pain, they go through chronic illness, it is in fact a blessing for them to say, okay, it's time for him to go. But someone who's completely healthy all of a sudden dies, it will cause trouble for the loved ones as well. So Ali ibn Abi Talib here is saying that, praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, first thing, take my soul. The second lesson, brothers and sisters, is that it is not important how long we live. The length of life is not the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. How depth it is. Meaning what you have produced in your life. The quantity is not a big deal. Whether we live 80 years old, or 90 years old, or 120 years old. The quality is important. What do we produce? I have a pen. This pen could sit on the shelves 20 years without using one time. But you have another pen that only be spent in 1 month. You write so many books, so many articles, so many scientific things, so many knowledge you produce with. Which one is better? That pen that is sitting on the shelf for 20 or 30 years? Or this one that you have used with, that you have produced, that you have served the humankind? So here, when the ayah is telling us about the aging, is telling us that this is not a big deal if you live 20 years old, or 50, or 100 years old. The important thing is what you produce, what you give. That's the important thing. Fighting over this life, believe me, there were people before us who had to fight for this land or for this life. One day Isa alayhi salam saw two people fighting. He looked at them and said, what are you fighting for? He said, for a piece of land. He said, do you want me to resurrect those people who died before you, who owned this place? If I resurrect those people who own this place, then you do not see a single spot for you to stand on this land. You are fighting on a land that so many people before you have owned it, and eventually they're gone. So don't keep your fighting for something that will be gone, something that's already Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said to be gone. Fight for something that will stick, something permanent, not for something that is gone. You compare between the life of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Imam Hussein alayhi salam could stay in Medina, make bay'ah with Yazid, and then live 60, 70 years old. But then eventually what? Eventually death will come and take him. But by sacrificing his life, dying earlier, he made sure that his name stayed permanent. He earned the eternal life. His legacy stayed eternal. So the importance is not the quantity, brothers and sisters. The importance is the quality. And the other message, brothers and sisters, many of us think that we do not age. We are healthy. We are fine. The aging is for those people. We are, alhamdulillah, fine. You know, this guy, he has so many problems. He has cancers. He has, inherited his cancer from his parents. I am fine. This is a message that tomorrow also you become an elderly. You become an old. An old person deserves respect. He's a respectable person in society. Pay attention to the elderly. Not once your father and your mother become 60, 70 and they become unable, then you take them, you throw them in the nursing home, and khalas, then you visit them once per month. Unfortunately, this bad habit of the West have been spread in our countries. Nowadays, you go to our countries, you see nursing homes. There are some people who have charities come to protect the elderly, but this is the responsibility of the children. To take care of their father, to take care of their parents. In the United States, there are more than 2.5 million nursing homes. But this is a Western countries. But you will be surprised if I tell you an Islamic country have more than 300,000 nursing homes. That's unbelievable. What happened to our Islamic teachers? They deserve to be respected. Here are some data I've collected regarding the elderly abuse. Unfortunately, once they get to a certain age and they become unable to perform their duties, you see all sorts of abuses is directed against them. Number one, physical abuse. And this is according to a report that I got, the survey that I got from American Psychological Association Office on Aging. Based on that, it says that the number of murders, meaning that elderly who die due to violence in the US, take any violent act that has caused life, 12% of that murder is for the elderly, for people who are 65 years and up. Now, when you ask why, what has happened, 90% of all of those violence is conducted by family members. It is the children who kill their parents. This is according to this number, 90%. Imagine, if 100 people die in the US, 12 out of those are elderly. Now 90% of this, 90% of those 12, meaning 10 of them, die because their children killed them. This is the physical abuse that I'm talking about. I remember, I have heard this story from my father. He said that one of the ulama went to in a village who had been, somebody has asked him to go, invited him to go to the village. And the villagers, they have the mill, you know what the mill is, where they tie a ball in it and the ball is moving. He said that this alim went to the village, in this guy's house, and instead of seeing a ball moving the mill, he saw an old man doing this. He said, I asked him, where is your father? He said, my father is this guy. He's moving the mill. He said, I got very agitated. I start to curse him and curse him and using bad words against him. The father told me, no, Sheikh, don't do this. I did to my father the same way. So I am returning it back. In the same way you treat your parents, rest assured, we will be treated in the same way. Number one is physical abuse. Sometimes financial abuse. Since they have money, you go and exploit them. Get this money. On the expense of whom? On the expense of other brothers and sisters. Many times you see one of the children has power, who forces the parents, the father or the mother, to make the will in his name and get the signature of the father or the mother, so he inherits everything while making the rest of his family deprived. This is another way to terrorize the parents. Sometimes emotional negligence. You leave them just for no reason. Abandon them. Leave them where they are and don't show up, don't call them. Why? Because they are in the nursing home, even if they're in nursing home. Should it be our responsibility to go and pay a visit at least? One day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Prophet Musa, or Prophet Musa asked Allah, told him, can you tell me who's my partner in the heaven, in the same level that I am? He said, yes, someone of Bani Israel, that person, happened to be a butcher. He said, this guy is my partner? He said, yes. He said, why? Allah told him, go and find out by yourself. Why? Prophet Musa alayhi salam went, knocked on the door, the man showed up. He told him, I need to be with you one day. He said, yes, stay with me one day. During that day, he went with him to work. At night when he came back, he saw that this guy is preparing food, some meat, some dish, and then went inside the home, and there used to be a basket, like a bassinet, a huge one, connected to the roof. He brought that one down. He saw an old lady. He cleaned her, fed her, gave her her food, cleaned her, washed her, changed her dress, let her sleep. Next in the morning, again he fed her, and again brought her to the roof. It used to be, animals, sometimes dangerous animals will attack the house. So this guy protected his mother right in the rooftop, and he went for his work. He looked, he didn't see this guy. His prayer is very usual. Nothing, special about that. His conduct is very usual. Then he was surprised, asked the qasab, told him, how long you have been doing this? He said, I have been doing this more than 10 years. More than 10 years I am feeding my paralyzed mother and helping her. Then he realized that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for that reason, has made this guy. Allah says, وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. You know what off means? Off is the least distress you show from yourself. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam says, if there is something even less than that, Allah would use it. There wasn't any term less than off. So Allah here says, وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا وَاخْفِضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ. Then there's another duty. وَقُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِ صَغِيرًا. See, sometimes in his life, he's a very good person. He helps his parents. He's a very nice son, but once they are dead, خلاص, he forgets them. The ayah says, no. وَقُلْ ارْحَمْهُمَا. After their death, you need to send your blessings to them. Read Surah Al-Fatiha. Do charity in their behalf. In the hadith, there is someone who happened to be aaq, meaning that the father or the mother have cursed him. During their lifetime, when they die, he cherishes them. He does charity in their behalf. Recite Quran and Fatiha for them. Allah will remove him from being aaq to someone who has helped his parents. While someone who used to be good with them, but all of a sudden after their death, he forgets about them and ignores them, Allah will remove him from the good people to the aaq. So our duty not only during their time, even after they die. وَقُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. تابع بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات. إنك مجيب الدعوات. إنك قاضي الحاجات. إنك على كل شيء قدير. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.